The day my parents sued me for buying my own house, I realized the people who raised me had never truly believed my achievements belonged to me. I had spent 6 years working overtime, skipping vacations, eating homemade lunches, and saving every bonus until I finally held the keys to a modest home I had earned without anyone else's help. I thought buying that house marked the beginning of my independence. Instead, it became the start of the ugliest betrayal of my life. My name is Harper Bennett, and growing up, I always knew my younger sister Betrayal was the favorite. My father, Graham, treated every opinion like law, while my mother, Diane, made his unfair decisions sound reasonable with guilt and emotional manipulation. Betrayal never had to fight for attention or approval because she already had both. I learned to stay quiet, work harder, and expect nothing from anyone. When I proudly announced that I had finally saved enough to buy my first home, my parents congratulated me with smiles that now seem fake. Betrayal forced a smile, but jealousy flashed across her face the moment everyone praised my achievement. I ignored it because I wanted peace more than recognition. A week after closing on the house, everything exploded. My best friend Sienna sent me a screenshot of Betrayal's public social media post, claiming I had stolen money our late grandmother supposedly left for Betrayal's future home. Thousands of strangers called me selfish and greedy, even though every dollar I spent came from my own paycheck. Before I could process the lie, my father called. Without hesitation, he calmly told me that he and my mother had hired an attorney because the house should legally belong to Betrayal. I laughed at first because I thought it had to be a joke. Then he coldly said words I will never forget. "That house belongs to your sister." I reminded him there had never been any inheritance fund, no agreement and no promise. His response was simple. Betrayal deserved the house more than I did because she needed it. The call ended with him informing me that they would see me in court. I barely slept. Sienna and her husband Nolan convinced me to hire one of the city's best property attorneys, Victoria Sloan. After reviewing every bank statement, tax record, and mortgage document, Victoria smiled confidently. My parents had no legal case, but that did not mean they could not make my life miserable. While gathering evidence, my Uncle Daniel and Aunt Elaine revealed something that changed everything. Years earlier, my father had pressured my grandparents to rewrite their will so Betrayal would receive a larger inheritance. They refused because they believed every grandchild deserved equal treatment. My father had apparently never accepted their decision. Then things became even worse. The courtroom felt colder than any place I had ever been. Sitting across from my own parents was more painful than I expected. My father confidently claimed there had always been a family understanding that the house was intended for Betrayal. My mother tearfully insisted they were only protecting their younger daughter. Betrayal claimed she honestly believed I had bought the house for her. Then Victoria dismantled every lie. She presented 6 years of employment records, payroll deposits, savings statements, mortgage paperwork, and proof that every payment came directly from my income. Uncle Daniel confirmed the inheritance had been divided equally. Aunt Elaine testified that my father unsuccessfully tried convincing my grandparents to favor Betrayal years before their deaths. Finally, Victoria introduced the security footage and police report, showing Betrayal attempting to enter my home without permission, because she believed she already owned it. The judge quietly reviewed every document before looking directly at my parents. She ruled there had never been any inheritance agreement, no evidence supporting their claims, and absolutely no legal basis for ownership. The lawsuit was dismissed permanently, preventing them from filing the same claim again. Outside the courtroom, my father angrily insisted we were still family. For the first time in my life, I refused to stay silent. Family does not destroy your reputation, invent lies, or drag you into court because someone else feels entitled to your success. My mother reached for my hand, but I stepped away. Betrayal quietly admitted she genuinely believed the house had always been meant for her. That single confession explained my entire childhood better than anything else ever could. That evening, I walked through my front door alone. The silence inside no longer felt lonely. It felt peaceful. As sunlight faded through the windows, I realized I had not simply defended a house. I had defended my dignity, my independence, and every sacrifice that made my future possible. Some people inherit love. Others have to build it themselves. I built mine one paycheck, one difficult decision, and one brick at a time. And for the first time in my life, I finally understood that home is not where your family lives. Home is where no one can take away the life you earned.